And welcome back to Mac Haik Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. I'm your buddy, your pal, Jaime Hellcat, and behind me is the Durango SRT with, of course, the 392 HEMI. And here we are at the front end of the vehicle, the part of the vehicle that most people aren't going to see. Once again, it's a 392, so you're going to have right around 485 horsepower. If you just do a factory cold air intake, which will not void out your warranty, you'll be right over 500. I think it's supposed to release, I don't know, between 12 and 18 horsepower. So let's just conservatively say it's about 505 on a normally aspirated motor. So with normally aspirated motor, you're not gonna have to wait for a turbocharger. You're not gonna have to wait for a supercharger. It's always good to go. You're gonna have your Hellcat spec brakes. You're gonna have your oversized wheels and tires. 0 to 60, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's right under 4 seconds. It's gonna be an all-wheel drive vehicle. It's got a lot of bang for the buck. Now the 392 is a throwback back to the motor that Chrysler had back in the day. It's gonna have a displacement of 392 cubic inches. It's also known as a 6.4 liter. You're also gonna have selective displacement, so it'll drop down to 4 cylinders if you're not aggressive with the throttle. It'll save you a little bit of gas. Now keep in mind, you'll get a little bit better gas mileage, but the second you decide to remind yourself you're driving an SRT, it'll remind you with a gas tank. So there's that. Now, most people that are looking for this are looking for something that'll carry 7 people comfortably, but you're not quite ready to throw in the towel, get yourself maybe a Pacifica or any kind of a minivan. So with this, you still got a lot of room and you still have, have a lot of punch to go with it. It's still cool. A lot of people that don't have family, kids, or friends for that matter, by themselves will buy one and they'll drive it. Excellent vehicle. Now here on the front end, you're gonna have your HID, which is gonna be your high intensity discharge lights. You're gonna have your daytime running lamps, which are LED. Now in the past, I don't know if you guys remember, but back when they first came out, the Chargers had the big tail light that everybody was going crazy about. You see little dots all around. Everybody thought it was cool, and we thought it was cool. But now they've changed it, so it's just continuous. So it's just a smooth display, so you can't see where the light's actually being emitted. It's just one continuous line all the way around. What they've done also, they've changed your sensors. The sensors used to be here in the bumper, and they kind of sort of stood out, but now they've kind of hidden them. So the sensors are still there, but they just don't stand out as much. You can see, well, keep in mind that the SRTs are going to be limited just by wind resistance. There's no top end limiter on it. So if you're in an open road, of course, under legal circumstances, it should hit, I'm guessing, right around 160, 165. Now, most people are going to see this for a second in the rearview mirror, but what they're really going to see is going to be the side of the vehicle. Now, looking here on the side, you're going to have your 20-inch wheels. You're going to have your forged aluminum wheels, which are going to be a little bit lighter. And if you see this huge, giant brake calipers made by Brembo, and you're going to have your floating discs. Now, the floating discs allow the disc to expand and contract, and it will not warp. Now, you can just get after it, braking hard on the track, of course, and you're not going to have that kind of either brake fade or any kind of warping of the disc. If you have just a standard, let's just say you're driving around, let's stay away from the other brands. Let's say you're driving an old Avenger because you still like Dodge. And you're driving around and you start just braking as hard as you can, What's gonna happen, the brakes are gonna overheat, the actual disc will overheat, and it'll warp, there's no way for it to expand. Now with a floating disc, the disc will expand. You can see there's little rivets here. The rivets are bolted on, so technically it floats, so it'll expand and contract, and it will not warp. So just a very high performance braking system. Keep in mind, since they are high performance brake pads, they are gonna create more brake dust. I guess you can go aftermarket and get something that'll decrease your brake dust, but the brake dust is going to be a drawback to getting just excellent brake feel and lack of fade, so that's always good. It is a 3-row SUV. It is a rear-wheel drive vehicle. This one actually is all-wheel drive, but most Durangos are going to be rear-wheel drive. You're going to have an SXT, which is kind of your basic. Then you're going to have your GT, which is going to look a lot like the SRT. It's going to cost a lot less than the SRT, but if you want all the bang to go for it, you're going to need a 392. But check it out. You've got your commonly referred to as the A pillar, B pillar, and C pillar. Looks cool. What I really like is just the angle of your C pillar. Just gives it a more aggressive look. You're gonna have your color-coded handles here. This is gonna have your keyless enter and go. You see how I just touched it, it started flashing the lights. If you touch it, it unlocks. If you touch this button and you got your key on you, it automatically locks. You get your blacked out 392 logos, and you also have your color-coded, color-matched fender flares. They're real slight, but you can see it. The wheel, actually the tire is a 295. It's a big fat tire. So you've got them all the way around. They're all matching tires. They're not staggered. So you get a big fat footprint everywhere you're going. You can take corners a lot faster than you should legally. But anyway, it gives you an idea. I just want you to see the side of it. Okay, and now we've made it to the back portion of the Durango SRT. And I'm supposed to open it up and show you all the interior. But before I do that, check this out. Favorite part? It sounds crazy, you know? I still can't believe we sell these, you know? It's like, it's cool. So once you get it started, see this little button right here? If you hit it again, it shuts it off. If you hit this twice, it opens up, so you got your powered lift gate. If you see this slight bulge right here, that just lets you know that you already have your Class 3 receiver hitch and your wiring. It's underneath. You got the cover on there, so it looks nice and tidy. If you look in the back, you're gonna see your third row. Very easy to just drop them down. Grab this, they go straight down. So then all of a sudden you got room for all your Christmas gifts. Open this up. This is what we commonly refer to as the bread basket. You can put your bread down there, that way your bread won't get crushed. Nicely equipped. Here you go, and you hit this button and it'll automatically shut down. And if you take a look, you're gonna have your dual exhaust over here, and it's all contoured, part of the rear end. Here are your backup sensors, your safety tech. That way, whenever you back up, it'll go dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. So it prevents you from either bumping into somebody or hitting a wall. Always handy. Once you start using them, you're really gonna like them. And we tinted these, so it looks nice and a little bit meaner than normal, you know, but it's good. It's a good vehicle. And the taillights are once again LED. So let me just hit the unlock button so they'll go ahead and illuminate. Hopefully it'll go across in the video. Once again, there's no hot spots, no little dots for the LEDs. So now it's just continuous and it's nice and cool. It almost looks like a neon tube. You got your blacked out SRT logo, lets everybody know. They know what it is, what you're driving by. That gives you an idea. All right, now that we've covered the front, the side, and the back, let's head on the inside where you really want to spend time in. It is absolutely killer. All right, here we are on the inside of the 392 Durango. Very cool place to be. One of the first things that you will notice is going to be your SRT steering wheel with a flat bottom. The flat bottom steering wheel is designed for you to be able to get in and out of the vehicle quickly, primarily used in performance cars or race cars to get in and out. I've got a 2017 Daytona, doesn't have this steering wheel. Absolutely crushes me every time I see one of these steering wheels. You're gonna have your paddle shifters. Now, something you may not know with the SRT line, if you're driving, let's just say you're going 50 miles an hour, maybe I've said it in some of the other videos. If you haven't seen the other videos, click on them and watch them. But if you have, don't tell anybody. So you're driving around, you're about 50 miles an hour. If you hold your negative paddle shifter down for 2 seconds, it's gonna drop it to the lowest gear possible. Your RPMs are gonna raise to the highest point possible, and it'll hold there. Once you punch it, it'll start shifting immediately. So what that allows you to do, it allows you to take off right in the meat of the power band close to red line. To get it out of auto, if you're in manual mode by touching your paddle shifters, just press the positive paddle shifter for 2 seconds, it puts it right back in drive. Now, when you do the trick and you hold it down, it'll still be in your automatic mode. It'll just hold it, you can let it go, punch it, and it starts shifting for you as well. Now, this is gonna have your 10-inch screen. It's gonna have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, which I absolutely love. Most of you guys already know what it is, some people don't. What you'll do, you'll get on your phone once it's already synced up. Let's just say you're going to, I don't know, let's just say you're going to Walmart. You go ahead and find it on your phone, no big deal. You get in the vehicle, once your vehicle, it's already been synced up, you just jump in, automatically populates, and it heads out there. Now, if you find yourself traveling somewhere with your Apple Maps or your Google Maps, and you get there and you don't have any kind of coverage and you're wondering how to get back, no big deal. You're gonna have your factory navigation, which works with satellites, so you're always covered. This is gonna have your heated and vented seats, your heated steering wheel. They've changed the controls. The controls they just feel a little more tactile. Like for your launch control, it's just a toggle switch. Your SRT pages are here, and that's also with a toggle switch, so they've changed that as well. Let's go ahead and click it on so you guys can see the screen. Let's see here, there it is. It's gonna have your Alpine sound system. Here's your home. Let's click on the vehicle. See, there's your nav. These are gonna be all your shortcuts. You've got your infotainment here, and you're gonna have your navigation there. Click on the SRT vehicle page. Give it a second, it's gonna populate. Let's go to SRT. Got your performance pages. Performance pages are gonna give you your timers. It's gonna give you your gauges. So you've got supplementary gauges. You've got your coolant temperature, oil temperature, transmission, battery, oil pressure. Scroll down, you've got your air intake temperature, lets you know it's sucking in the cool air. The cooler the air is, the more dense the air is, the more power the engine can create. Let's go to your dyno. This will actually show you your dyno graphs as to how much horsepower you're generating, how much torque you're generating. Here's your G-force reader. Now what that does, it tracks how much lateral and forward and rear G's you're pulling. If you're slowing down, it'll show you. It'll also record the maximum G's and G load that you have on either front or back or side to side. You also have your pitch and roll. Your pitch will show you which way your vehicle's pointed, and your roll will go from left to right. Here, your vehicle dynamics page. It'll actually show you in degrees your steering angle. It's just all the way cool. There you go. Back home. Here's your nav. So your nav screen is there. And once you sync up your phone, you can go ahead and have your Google Maps, Android Maps, that kind of thing. Now here's your SRT button. You go ahead and click on it, and you can go ahead and tailor your driving dynamics. You can tailor your shift points. You can tailor how aggressive or how non-aggressive you have your shift points. You can also tailor your traction control, your suspension settings. Here you go. You can go transfer. You put it in sport mode, and by default, you'll have your transmission on sport. Your paddle shifters are on. All-wheel drive is going to be in sport mode, which makes it a little more aggressive. Just go to track mode, and then everything all lights up red. Your transmission is in track mode, so it's going to shift very aggressively. It's going to downshift aggressively. Your paddle shifters, of course, are on. All-wheel drive is now going to be on track mode, which gives a little bit more traction bias to the rear end. Stability control is on track, which will allow it to break loose a little bit if you decide to go ahead and what they call steering it with the back end. You're going around a corner, you gas it, it'll drift it out just a little bit. Your steering is going to be a little more tighter. You'll feel it. You'll have your track logo up front, lets you know you're in track mode. Here's your auto mode. It calms everything down. You can see all your settings are now on yellow, which lets you know you're in street mode. If you go to snow mode, it slows everything down for you. When you're leaving the line, it'll leave in second gear, keeps your wheel slip down to a minimum. It'll go ahead and monitor your traction control. It automatically knows that you are in your snow once you're in snow mode. You'll have your all-wheel drive is set to 50-50. Let's go ahead and look at your tow. Now you got it in tow mode, and it also changes your suspension to sport. And here's your custom, and you can go ahead and tailor your custom mode as to whether you want your transmission in street or for sport or track. Here's your custom setup. You set it up right here. And here's your toggle switches on and off. And now these are all touch sensitive, so you can go ahead and put your suspension in track mode, suspension in sport mode, suspension in street mode. Same thing, your paddle shifters, you can turn them off. All-wheel drive, track, you can do track, sport, or street. 50-50. Your stability, you can put it in track, sport, and street. Street's gonna keep you in check most of the time. Sport a little less, track even less so. Here's your suspension. Your suspension will stiffen up if you put it in track mode. It'll soften up a little bit for sport. And if you put it in street mode, it's gonna actually drive just like a normal SUV. With your steering, if you have it in street mode, it's nice and comfortable. If you go to sport mode, it makes it a little tighter. If you go to track mode, it makes it nice and tight so you can go ahead and feel the track. All right, let's go ahead now and pair up a phone. This is my iPhone. Go ahead and click on the phone tab. There it is here. Do you want to pair a phone? Yes. Search for Bluetooth devices. I'm opening up the settings here. Jaime's iPhone. I'm Jaime. This is my iPhone. Click on here. There we go. Pair. Yes. Allow. Now it's syncing up. There's the phone. You want to connect Apple CarPlay? Okay. Use CarPlay. Okay. Give it 1 second while everything populates. Here it is. And here's all the info for my phone. Here's all my Spotify. Here is the Apple Maps. Here are going to be the most recent apps. Here's your navigation. There's going to be your Spotify. If any of these pages, if you're needing any more information on any of these pages, excuse me, click on here and automatically maximizes it. Click on this icon here and it shows you you're there. Now, if you click on that icon one more time, it's changed, and this is going to be a listing of all your apps. It's going to be very similar on your Android device. It just makes it so handy that it's just now wireless. Now, this is going to have your wireless charging, so what you'll do, just get in here, throw it down there, it starts to charge. Your phone's always charged, and you always have access to your most apps. Everybody's very, very familiar with their own phone, so Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, once you use, are just a must to have. All right, so once again, in closing, this is going to be the 392 Durango, the SRT model. It's going to be something if you need a couple more passengers, 7 total. If you have a family, if you have friends, coworkers, that kind of thing, but you need a little more punch to go with it, this is going to be what you're looking for. In closing, also, be sure to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please comment so below. And our location here at Mack Haik Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we are at 11,000 North Freeway, 77037 here in the beautiful north side of Houston, Texas. Once again, I'm Jaime Hellcat, and thanks for watching.